Hey everybody, Pete Hendricks, Hendricks Classics here. So this video I'm doing because of a couple of things. I saw a post where somebody had become excited about shaving with a straight razor and went and bought all the equipment, and you're looking at a couple of $100 maybe by the time you get everything. And then he started using this straight, and within 2 weeks was done with it. He'd had a rough time. And so there's a lot of videos on the internet about how to shave with a straight, but not all of them are so good. So the one thing I want to do is show how to shave with a straight. The other thing is I want to show you a way to try out straight razors without spending a lot of money. So here we got a straight razor, and here we have a disposable straight razor. In our disposable straight razor, you can get these on Amazon. They are the Beauty M's. Beauty M as in Mary. And if you go on Kai's Japanese website, they advertise these as disposable razors, but here they don't. And so I posted how to use these disposable razors to learn to approximate a straight razor, upon which I had people challenge whether it would be a good comparison. And so I'm going to shave with both of them a little bit, and I've done this a million times. It is comparable. Not exactly, but it's close enough. It's close enough so you can try this for under $10 and make sure it's something you want to do before you spend the money, the big bucks. Shaving with a straight razor is not like other razors. They are very unforgiving. And if you like all men, I hate to read instructions and follow instructions, but this is a case where you need to have good instruction. So, the first thing you know is that good pre-shave prep is an absolute requirement. And so what I did here, I'm here in the office, so I don't have a shower, but I washed my face with a washcloth. You need to wash it. You need to wash it with something with a little bit of scrub, a little scrubby or a washcloth or something. And then I applied warm heat to my face for 5 minutes. And for most people, 3 minutes is enough, but let's say 5. And the way that I did that is that I used hot towels. I've got a towel warmer here. Now, let's compare these. And so, if you don't do good pre-shave prep, it's going to turn ugly. So, look at these two. No, it's not the same size. And the blade is not the same as a straight razor blade. The blade is basically what would be in one of the Feather Artist Club razors. And, as I said, it's close enough. So, I know you've done your pre-shave prep, so let's get started here. And I'm going to put on some glasses and look in the mirror and not the camera. So when you shave with a straight, you stretch your skin. The lightest of light touches is what you do. If you press with a straight or with one of these, you'll cut yourself all to pieces, or you'll get a really rough shave. So you stretch your skin, and you want the razor at a 30-degree angle to your face. You can go flatter, but if you go above 30 degrees, you're going to be seeing some blood. Now, I use hardly any pressure at all. And you can see that it took off. I let my beard grow for almost a week so that, you all could, for dramatic effect, so you know I wasn't lying to you. Okay, so you can see how it's taking it off. Now, so I'm claiming that one of these approximates shaving with a straight. Well, the way that I can claim that is by in the same shave, shaving with a straight and then comparing them. And so the straight razor blade is longer, but let's get started here. Okay, gotta turn so I can. And you always have to watch, when you're learning, pay attention to the end of the razor, because, now get some better stretch there. Okay, there's the proof of the pudding is in the eating. It's close enough to approximate a straight. When you start looking at it, shaving with a straight razor, there's kind of two ways you can go. You can go with the Feather Artist Club shavettes, or you can go with an actual straight. So a straight is more hip slick and cool, but a shavette with a Feather Artist Club blades in it is a better experience. I like the Feather Artist Club best. Okay. Now, the second important instruction. For the first 2 weeks, do nothing but your cheeks. It's easy to succeed and you can get used to it. And so you're going to take whatever kind of razor you've been shaving with all along and finish your shave for the first 2 weeks. And trust me, that is a smart thing to do, because when you start when you start doing other things and having to take into account different angles, that's when the fun begins. And what I'm focusing on while I'm doing this is 30-degree angle and very, very light touch. When I was learning to shave with a straight, the recommendation at that time was to learn to shave with both hands. And I think that's a good. So my skin still has a residual slickness from the soap, and I can't stretch as well. Now, some people can shave with a straight and get the closest shave ever, and some people can't. And it has to do with the kind of skin you have and your whiskers. Because like everything else on a human being, we're all different. And you may see somebody, shaving, like flying through a shave with a straight razor. Don't think that that's how it is for everybody, because it's not. Trying to get set up to have some grip on that skin. Now, I don't know if you all saw that, The shave soap didn't go all the way up to right under my nose, and when I started to use the razor, I could tell it was tugging. Now, another thing you have to learn, which I had to learn the hard way, if you slice, that's exactly what you're going to do, is slice open your skin. And you'll notice I don't have it perfectly at 30 degrees the whole way through the shave. You give it your best shot. We'll let that soak in for a minute and go shave some other areas. Okay, I can get a good stretch here. Now, on the neck, I'm here to tell you, do not press too hard on that lower neck. Don't press hard ever. So we've got that. How am I going to do? I'm going to come up here. I'm going to come at an angle on this, and I'm going to have to move a little so I can see. I think that for most people will not get as close a shave with a straight as they will with a safety razor. That's not everybody, but that's kind of the straight razors are hip, slick, and cool, but there's also a reason that 100 years ago there were a lot of people who were glad something new came out. Okay, so I'm left-handed, and like I say, I learned to do it with both. So let's get over here and do just that. So, when you start dealing with your chin and going around your jawline, the angle changes every little bit. So let me show you how I do that. Also, there are times where there's a couple of different strokes that will help you. So sometimes you'll be kind of the arc can be helpful sometimes. And on this, when I was a kid, there would be cartoons and there would be like a squirrel eating a corn of cob. And the way the squirrel would do it, he'd go down one side and back the other. So he'd go down one side and get one little row of corn cob pieces and then come right back down. And that's what you're going to do is on the areas where the angle is the same, you're going to do all those at once. So we're going to go okay, that's a place where the arch stroke is good. So now I'm going to get the chin and look at how I do this, just like the squirrel. And so we're going to go, how am I going to do this? Okay, I let the razor get a pretty high angle, but luckily it didn't cut. Now here you're going to see how I'm going back, going down while I keep the same angle. Now I'm going to do an area that will need a deeper angle. Or not a deeper angle, a different angle. Now let's get up here. One thing I do love about a straight, you can really get right around your nose well. And be careful with this area. There are a lot of nerve endings right there. Now, as I was going down through there, I was always keeping an eye on, that skin's not totally flat. So if I'm shaving the flat part and the other part that's sticking out, I can slice that, right open. Okay, let's go for a second pass. And I'll tell you, the smart money also is do one pass and then clean up with a safety razor. Unless you're one of those who, you don't seem to get cut or get rough shaves. when I was younger, I'd be like, no, you have to use the straight razor for the whole shave. You're not doing it right if you don't do that. And now I'm like, I don't do this for a living. I do it for fun. And if I feel like cleaning up with a safety razor, I'm going to. Want to pay attention that we get both sideburns the same length. Actually, I do this for a living, but I don't shave with a straight razor for a living. Okay, I just went by that earlobe. That could have, I wasn't paying attention. That could have turned ugly. Now, I do think there's something to be said. I've read a couple of articles that were unrelated to shaving, but were more about, being a gentleman. That said a gentleman should know how to shave with a straight razor. Now, for me, the lower neck gets one pass for me. I don't do that twice. Ooh, you may not have seen that. That angle was begging for trouble right there. But, we'll all get off on the angle here and there. If you're using a light enough touch, then you'll get away with it. So, always hate it if there's whiskers that don't get cut along the bottom of the lip. So that does make short work of that. So you see on my face right there, hopefully you can see it, there's a dimple, not a dimple, I don't know what it is, but anyway, I went across to keep from cutting myself. And this is actually, gents, this is actually pretty close. It needs a little touch up right over here, so. But this is such that I wouldn't need to clean up with the safety razor. Gents, we'll call this good to go. We'll call this good to go. Now, these guys have the razor blades are stainless, so you know they'll last a pretty decent while. And what I do is after I finish, I'm going to palm strop it. We're going to make sure it's dry. Palm strop it again. Ooh. And put it back in its case. So, what I've shown you today is how to check out shaving with a straight razor